So we're going to be talking about the Hag today right now, guys. Now, before we go into details about the kind of perks, let's just take a little bit of a look at the add-ons. Now, the Hag has quite a variety of add-ons, okay? Simply, the best, most efficient add-on she can have is this one here, called the Rusty Shackles. Now, this removes the sound notification of a trap triggering. Therefore, the Hag can just take it without the survivor knowing and being able to react. A good survivor will be plodding along, see a trap trigger, and then quickly adjust their playstyle in knowing and anticipation that the trap has gone off. However, Rusty Shackles can be a real pain in the ass. The survivor doesn't know it's triggered. He might be running away from a hook save with Make Your Choice. He might run in for a save under the hook, not realize that the trap is activated. You wait 2 seconds or so, then take control and take a double hit on both the players. It can be very, very dangerous. One of the most scariest add-ons in the game. It makes the Hag an absolute unit. It goes hand in hand with the Mint Rag. Now, you might be asking, what is the Mint Rag? The Mint Rag allows you to teleport to any of your traps throughout the entire board with a 15-second cooldown. You can place one 200 meters apart, and instead of being stuck with your default 40-meter teleport, you are now being able to teleport the entire board. So if I place one upstairs and I see a survivor's running in that direction, I can hit control, teleport to it, land it, then hit the survivor. Okay? It can be devastating with things like Devour Hope, Make Your Choice, Haunted Ground. You can really make this an absolute lethal build. These are the best possible add-ons, don't get me wrong. Not everyone's going to be wanting them. Some people like the Dried Cicada, some people like the Cracked Turtle's Egg. It just depends on your kind of playstyle. Some people like the Dragonfly Wings for longer teleporting distance. But if you're looking at some of these other ones, the Water Lodge shoe isn't that great, alright? When a survivor triggers a trap, they receive the hinder penalty. What is the hinder penalty? It reduces 5% of the survivor's movement speed. Excuse me. Therefore, the Hag is 110 and the survivor is 95%. This allows the Hag to equivalently move at about 115%. It's not that great. It removes her ability from being able to teleport to traps, which is what makes her an amazing killer. Otherwise, she just becomes an M110% movement speed killer. Not that great. Can throw people off the first time, but a lot of players run dead hard and allow them to recover from a mistake. Right? The Defigured Ear. Not that great. Once you set off a trap, you will still be able to hear the heartbeat. It'll just sound different. Yep. It doesn't deafen the game. If it removed all sound, that would be different. It does not do that. It just makes sound really weird. Okay? Just like a frag grenade in a Call of Duty game. You can still hear and understand. Grandma's heart is okay. When you trigger a trap, she removes her heartbeat and the mud clone gets her heartbeat. So you might be running behind a survivor and another trap triggers somewhere else, and then you can get really close to him. Yet again, the Hag has a 24-meter heartbeat because she is 110% movement speed. Modern Abuse makes it a 16-meter heartbeat. You're better off just having a default 16-meter heartbeat than wanting to run this add-on. There are better options on the table. Next, we have the Scarred Hand. The Scarred Hand allows the Mud Phantoms to have collision. You place it in between a pallet. When a survivor tries to run past, they can't because you're body blocking the pallet. Therefore, you can come up behind them and M1 them. Works good on maps like Larry's Institute, the game, where you know, yet again, you do suffer from the ability of not being able to teleport. Keep in mind, it is okay. It trumps all other add-ons, so it'll always go through. There is no counter perk. If you're running something along the lines of Mint Rag to teleport, it doesn't matter. This trumps all add-ons. Right, moving along a little bit more, considerably increase the effectiveness of the range. So you're no longer blinking at 40 meters or teleporting. You're going at about 48 meters. You can go a good distance. Considerably increase the trap trigger time. It's no longer, I think, 3.5 seconds. It's now like 4 seconds. It allows it to go a longer period of time. You've obviously got this one, which is a really good one too. The Willow Wreath. A lot of people don't understand how great this is. Reveals the survivor's aura for 5 seconds when they trigger a trap. You can tell if you want to teleport to it. You can tell if you want to come around the side, if you want to hide your light, if you want to let it go. If he's coming in for a hook save, then he triggers that and then he runs away. You know, you don't have to teleport back. There's a lot of different plays that can come into a coordination with knowing this kind of thing as well. Yeah? There is a lot of interesting add-ons on the Hag. There is not so many great ones, but the Rusty Shackles always comes out on top here. Okay? Looking through right now in terms of perks. Now, you know how I recommend a killer. You want something to prep the game, something to stall the game, something to help you with loops and jungle gyms, and something to help you clutch the game. You notice how I didn't say a utility perk? Instead of saying utility, I said prep. Okay? There are 3 decent perks when it comes to prepping the game, okay? You have Distorted, for situational awareness. Not bad knowing where multiple people are at once. Keep in mind, you're the Hag. You don't want to chase. You want to prep. Okay? I would not recommend that perk, even though it's an amazing perk that came in with Legion. I would not recommend this on the Hag in the slightest bit. Okay? Discordance is good, but it's not for the Hag. She's 110 movement speed. The only person at 110 movement speed I could recommend this on is 2 people. That would be both the Huntress for situational awareness, because she needs to know where she's rotating to, and the Spirit if that's the kind of build you want to move. That way you can phase in at 176% movement speed for 5 seconds, or if you're running add-ons, you know, you can change a couple of things up. Right, looking at this too, this brings us back to stage 1. What are we looking at running? I personally would fall victim to, yes, yet again, another ruin kind of build here. Okay, keep in mind the Hag needs to be smart. She needs to prep and she needs time to prep. So, under no circumstance would I recommend not running a stall perk, okay? The other alternative you could have chose would have been Corrupt Intervention. Very, very powerful perk for stalling the game. On the Trapper, I would not recommend this because people could set off your traps. As the Hag, I would recommend this if there was no flashlights. Therefore, if somebody sets a trap, you could teleport back in and know too. With the Hag, you don't really want things like barbecue and chili. You're going to be focusing too much on looking towards the chasers as opposed to looking towards the prep and what's going to help you with your late game kind of clutch potential. Now, I already said earlier, the Hag has a 24-meter heartbeat. We're going to take advantage of that 24-meter heartbeat. We can teleport 40 meters. This being said, let's see what we can do here to entwine and enhance our build. I'm going to want to make this heartbeat even smaller, so we're looking straight away right now for Modern Abuse. A fantastic perk, very undermined on the Hag. It reduces her heartbeat, and you can see, depending on the clothing you're wearing on the Hag, it can be very difficult to actually track and be able to give you a massive advantage over the survivors. Okay, if I'm coming in towards the generator and I've blocked my line of sight, my littlest bit of the heartbeat starts at 16 meters. I'm going to be able to get really freaking close. It's the default Michael Myers tier 2 heartbeat. Yeah? Imagine how powerful Michael Myers with Modern Abuse is then. Because I have a 16-meter heartbeat, I kind of want to know where survivors are. This would be the perk that I put on for speeding up the game in your favor. Enduring, Bamboozled, Spirit's Fury, I wouldn't say Fired Up, Brutal Strength, that kind of perk. On this killer, I do not recommend that in the slightest. A good Hag won't even need to worry about that. So the way you play Trapper, I know this is the Hag, not the Trapper, is you generally prep around a loop. You can be one of 3 trappers. You can prep around the loop, you can prep in between the loop, you can prep at the end of the loop. Alright? Now the only time you'd want to prep in the loop would be if you had automatically setting traps. The only time you want to prep at the end of the pallet is if there's no grass around the sides and you don't think the guy's going to utilize the jungle gym, where this smart play is to prep around the jungle gym for when a survivor tries to loop you at it, and then you make yourself look dumb as if you're trying to bloodlust and he goes straight into the trap. That's not what we're here to talk about. The Hag, there are 2 ways to play the Hag. You can prep at the end of a pallet, never prep in between the pallet. At the end, and then run up, and then either take the blink and then hit the survivor or bait it out. You can do that. Or option 2. Option 2 is a high tier skill gap advanced kind of gameplay. If you prep in the corner near a jungle gym, not at the jungle gym, when a survivor's running and they run past, their camera is going to be twisted, because when you set off a Hag trap, you fully automatically look directly at the Hag trap in the center of your screen. Therefore, if you're holding W and A, you will not continue running straight and take the corner tight. You will end up running into the wall, allowing the Hag to come right up behind you and M1 you. Very high skill, very hard to do. I do not see many Hags do it because, like I said, it's very hard to do and it's high skill, as opposed to how easy it is to prep in between a pallet and just get the pallet for free. Right, back to looking at the perks. We're going to be removing this and we're going to go, I want to know where people are coming from. I need to know. I need situational awareness. I told you guys, don't worry about barbecue and chili. Barbecue and chili is going to hurt your gameplay. It is going to make you look for people and hunt, as opposed to setting up the map and prepping and getting multiple Hag traps out. So this is the perk I would recommend. It is called a Nurse's Calling. A Nurse's Calling allows you to see a survivor healing or being healed, not mending. Mending is something different. If a survivor is in dying state, you cannot see them. If a survivor in dying state is being healed, you can see the person healing. Therefore, you currently know where to rotate. It is in 28 meters. You have a 24-meter heartbeat with Modern Abuse, now making a 16-meter heartbeat. 16, well, 28 minus 16 is 12. I'm going to be able to see them healing 12 meters before they hear the littlest heartbeat. That is very powerful on a lot of maps. On a map like the Temple, not so much. Map like Liars Institute, a wet dream. A map like the game, another wet dream. Rotten Fields, not that helpful. So it's both yin and yang for a couple of maps. Can be utilized on every map, just excels in certain maps, such as Bamboozled. Now, my final perk I'm going to reserve for a clutch or kick perk. Now, a lot of people would probably be thinking, oh, he's referring to Noed. I am not referring to Noed. I'm referring to something else, okay? There are 4 clutch or kick perks, okay? Infectious Fright. Allows you to slug and rotate and keep the pressure on, right? For a snowball potential. Good on someone like the Nurse. Good on someone like a tier 3 Michael Myers with Distressing. Right? No, we're not interested in that. Next. You have Sloppy Butcher. I can prep traps everywhere. I can teleport. I can hit someone with Sloppy Butcher and take the bullying pressure out. Therefore, it's going to take not 32 seconds to heal. It's going to take 40 seconds to heal, giving me more time to prep. Okay? I could take Make Your Choice. Make Your Choice has a 32-meter range, okay? If somebody triggers the trap, I'm going to be able to teleport after they do the hook save and then hit them for 1 minute. Massive window. The strongest out of all of them by far. The final option on the table... So let's recap. We have Infectious Fright, we have Sloppy Butcher, we have Make Your Choice. The final one, the hidden gem that people do not understand, is going to be Save the Best for Last. A lot of you would go, wow, Goose, why would you recommend Save the Best for Last on the Hag? Well, let me explain real quick. If you have 4 stacks, that is reducing your cooldown of hits by 20%. Now, for as long as you have 4 stacks, if you hit a survivor at a trap, and he runs and sets another trap off 2 seconds later, out of the 3 seconds of sprint burst he receives of 150% movement speed after being M1, you can teleport to the trap and lunge hit him while he's doing his last 1 second. You heard me. It's good for hook trades. It's good for all kinds of situations. However, it relies on you finding your obsession. I do recommend Save the Best for Last for an advanced, experienced kind of player. However, falling victim to running what is safer. Save the Best for Last is a gamble. Ruin is a gamble. Running 2 gambles, perks, not really good. You want consistency, okay? So realistically, the most consistent perk I would run here would be Make Your Choice. If I wanted to run Save the Best for Last, I could go and get rid of Ruin for a more consistent stall. What is a more consistent stall than Ruin? None other than Corrupt Intervention. I could go Corrupt Intervention and then get rid of this and go Save the Best for Last. I could twist and tailor this build. I could go, I'm confident with my ability to track. I don't need Nurses Calling situational awareness. I can go Save the Best for Last instead. What's that? I don't need Save the Best for Last. I'm confident in the ability of Make Your Choice. I can run Ruin and I can run also Corrupt Intervention. Now would be the time I would recommend Distortion, but I'm not going to recommend it on this killer. So you see how one perk can change, and depending on what you're versing multiple toolboxes, bam, that's when you get what you want to go. You're versing multiple medkits, bam, that's what you want to go. Or even you could take on Nurses Calling instead and go Nurses Calling, Save the Best for Last, Nurses Calling, Sloppy Butcher. You want to tailor your build in accordance with what you're versing. 2 toolboxes, a flashlight, and a medkit, you might want to change it up. I do not recommend Franklin's Demise. I recommend playing smarter, okay? Getting blinded at pallet is fine. Listen, understand that there is different sound indicators, but whether you're running after a Jake, his panting is different to an Adam, which is different to a Nia, which is different to a Claudette. The foot sounds are different if they're running on concrete, dirt, tiles, pavement, grass, gravel, wooden floorboards, tiles, all these different sounds, above, below, they're all different and unique. With enough practice and experience, you're going to be able to understand these, okay? Locker sounds of the breathing of gasps of air while going in and coming out of a locker. Just takes a bit of time. So guys, that will conclude the Hag. Now, if I wanted to go a really sweaty Hag, like I showed you guys in my last video, I'm going to make the most sweatiest Hag build I can go. Okay, you're going to notice a lot of similarities to my Freddy build, yeah? My Freddy build was on the game. Now, a lot of people would think Ebony Mori if you're going to be playing to win. I disagree. If I am playing to win in my Hag, I'm going to be running this. It is very, very similar to my Freddy Krueger build because I'm going to the map that I want to go to. Keep in mind, any add-on is available at this point in time. Now, you would think you're going to run the Mint Rag so you can teleport around the map, wouldn't you, Goose? That is an option. Playing Mint Rag with Distortance and putting a trap in a corner and having something like Haunted Ground and being able to teleport to the corner and then come and hit someone while they're working on a Jenny to catch them off guard would work. But we're going for consistency right now. What we need to guarantee the 4K. And right now, the best option on the table right now is this right here. Knowledge is power. Knowing where people are at all times, especially on a map like this. Keep in mind, he's going to trigger a trap. It's going to give him no indicator, and I'm going to know he's there for 5 seconds where he's going. It's going to allow me to cut him off. It's going to allow a lot of things. Because I'm on the game, I'm going to want to take advantage of Nurse's Calling. It's small, it's confined. I have a 24-meter heartbeat. I could reduce the heartbeat if I feel necessary. I could increase the heartbeat. If I'm going to be messing around with the heartbeat, Infectious Sprite is a bad idea. However, we're going to fall victim right now to running a bit of a different build. A little bit of the meta, a little bit of not the meta at the same time. Distortance would give me good situational awareness. You're going to notice something cute here. Haunted Ground and Devour Hope. Just like that, I now have great situational awareness. I am not running Make Your Choice for my last perk like I normally would. It is important to know where people are. If I am playing a build like this, I need to know where I need to go and how fast it's going to take me or how long it's going to take me to get there, yeah? Knowing where multiple people are would be good. Because I have such a lethal build, I'm not even interested in the slightest of Sloppy Butcher. Speeding up the game would be good because there's a lot of pallets, don't get me wrong, but we're not here to eat pallets, we're here to outplay survivors. Fires from the Shadows could confuse the shit out of me because it's 2 platforms. Keep that in mind. I do have 2 totem perks already. I could go Thrill of the Hunt because of my situational awareness and teleporting around. That'd help me a lot. But Barbecue and Chili would be good. Now, I know what you're thinking, but it's a platform. It's a platform map. Goose, you could be in deep trouble. Correct. I will fall victim to running this perk here right now. And you might be wondering, why would you run Corrupt Intervention, Goose, with this? Now, remember how I just mentioned with the water log? Not with the water log, with the mint rag, how I would path, and I would put a trap near a corner, not in front of a Jenny, and then teleport to it. I would do the exact same thing. Right now, Corrupt Intervention is gonna, not Corrupt Intervention, I'm terribly sorry, chat. Distortance. Distortance is going to allow me to know when 2 people are working on a generator at once. Okay? You're both working above the basement in the bathroom. I've put a trap in the little shower stall, not in front of the generator, yeah? I see the notification. I do not take the notification. Somebody pops Haunted Ground or I have Devour Hope, then I take the teleport, then I take the hit. Remember, I have Rusty Shackles. They set a trap off, they don't know. They've revealed their aura to me the entire time. That, in my personal opinion, is the best possible Hag build you could run in the game. It excels above a Mori. You know what map you're going to, you have the power for the map, you have the pressure, everything is ready to go. Set in stone. If you want to run less of a gamble, you could take off Devour Hope or take off Haunted, whichever you're feeling, and run Pop Goes the Weasel. But however, I don't think anything can beat that build.